it's very important to set the record straight right now, and have clarity and in terms of what is his role. Because I've seen some things in the media, I've seen some things being thrown at him that are absolutely unnecessary. It's borderline ridiculous. But really his role as a visionary and what he's brought to this national team, he's been able to convince the government to add additional funding. So that funding goes towards the national team in terms of professionalism. Bringing a world-class staff like Peter Klomoski, like Dr. Craig Duncan, one of the best sports science, sports performance doctors in the world. Myself, Stanley Bernard. This is a world-class staff we have in the national team. And the professionalism that we bring comes from the vision of TMJ. And that's it. He's not operational, right? He's not getting in the weeds. He's our visionary, and that's it. And he sets the vision of the national team. He holds the national team accountable. He sets the motivation. These players want to play for him. We want to work for him. We want to represent this country. And he's a proud visionary of this project, and that's it. So when I see stuff being thrown at him in terms of getting involved in this, it's like I said, it's borderline ridiculous that anyone would think that he's getting down into the weeds of the operation in terms of documentation, in terms of registration. So I think it's important to set that part clear. So with regards to the national team, and as I've sort of defined what we are, I think it's important to really discuss or paint the picture of what our role was in the naturalization, because it's obviously been a big topic, and we're sitting here because of the sanctions that have been set by FIFA. So with the national team, obviously, as I explained, we're strategy, performance, we're technical. We're not getting involved in the documentation. But what I would say, and full transparency, how we are involved, I'd say sort of two main areas. The first one would be discussing with FAM throughout the upcoming camps. We get a brief, we get an update on potential players that are going to be naturalized. Of course, Peter, myself, we'd understand, okay, this is the player pool that FAM is working on with the government in terms of documentation, in terms of registration. Until then, we had no involvement in that, obviously. We're not involved in any of the documentation registration. But we were ready and available when these players would be accepted by FIFA. And then once the documentation registration was finished, FIFA would issue a document that approved the players to play for the national team. We as a national team would receive that document, and then we would activate that player in the player selection. So we'd sit down with Peter, we'd discuss those newly naturalized players as part of our upcoming games. Until then, as you can imagine, there was no planning around those players, because it's very difficult to plan without the official confirmation they're able to play. So that's really the national team's role in this naturalization. I think it's important to clarify. I'd also like to clarify my role in this process. Obviously, on August 22nd, FIFA, submitted the case and the investigation to FAM and the players. So myself as CEO of the national team, this immediately affected the national team, which I immediately became involved in this case, which meant I knew we had to protect the players. There are players that played for this country. They've represented this country. They're Malaysian, and my responsibility is to protect our players, protect the integrity of the national team. So on August 22nd, I immediately became involved and got brought into this case, which meant we had to bring a world-class legal team. Like I said, it's protecting the players, protecting the integrity of football, integrity of the national team. So myself got involved. I flew to Zurich, met with some of the best lawyers in the world, and we have one sitting here because it's important that everything is clearly documented, investigated, and understand how we can fight this and fight for the players and fight for the national team. So I've been to Zurich, I've been to Miami visiting FIFA. That's where their legal office is, working with FIFA, because I think in good faith, we have to understand what happened. And by being transparent with FIFA and understanding the process, what went wrong, what happened, sort of investigating with them. Myself have been involved and have been multiple times to Miami meeting with FIFA, and showing good faith that we're willing to understand what happened, and then obviously ensure this never happens again. So on that, look, at the end of the day, I'm proud of this national team. I'm proud of what Peter and the players have done so far, especially in the last couple of months, with this dark cloud hanging over us. I'm proud of the last couple of games, 5-1 against Laos. It's inspirational. And, these players, the staff, staying focused and continuing to do the job and represent this country. And what they're doing is I can't be more proud. And we're going to fight. We're going to fight for our players. We're going to fight for the national team, for this country. And, that's why we have some of the best lawyers next to us. And other than that, I will hand it over to Serge to break down the legal appeal process and overall the legal strategy. Thank you.
No.